Hello, I'm Lisa Trapani.
And I'm Don Nelson, and welcome to the Sights and Sounds of Houston. By the time you reach 65, you probably will have earned $1 million along the way. But wouldn't it have been nice to have gotten there earlier, say before all your hair turns gray?
Well, there's an organization here in Houston where young entrepreneurs share their secrets of success. Don talked with some of the members about how they got ahead of the game.
These people have taken that step. They are members of the Houston chapter of the YEO, Young Entrepreneurs Organization. The two requirements to be a member are you must own $1 million company and you must be under 40. For all of them, the American dream started early. Speaking of phone numbers,
Sarah and I started in our apartment in '85 in a two-bedroom apartment. Sarah was working at the bank. I was selling long-distance service like MCI or Sprint, a reseller. The payphone industry had just deregulated, and we thought, hey, it sits on the wall, it takes quarters, and everyone leaves it alone, and it makes a lot of money. Let's get into that business.
Rather than roll quarters, the Ostrofskys opted to become the new industry's information operators.
We put out a newsletter from our apartment called Private Payphone News. It was an 8-page newsletter. And I called a couple of people and said, would you like to buy an ad in my newsletter? And 3 people took me up on it, and we made more money from the advertising than we did the subscriptions. And we said, this is not so bad. Maybe we should do this again.
They went from 8 pages to 120 pages in their first year.
I will go to the mail and get the checks. I have a degree in economics, so I decided I was going to be the administrator.
At midpoint, the newsletter became a magazine for both sellers and buyers, and finally Marc brought them face-to-face at a trade show.
We were charging people to walk in the door and charging people for the exhibit space.
Marc and Sarah's company was grossing $6 million when they sold it last year to a major publisher. After a much-deserved vacation, they started. The average age of this YEO chapter is 32, and its 25 members generate between $200 and $250 million in sales. Their purpose is to act as a sounding board for each other, to minimize mistakes, and to share their expertise for the purpose of growth.
It's amazing how many people come over time to me or to my friends of mine that are entrepreneurs and say, I've got this idea, I want to start a new business. I really want to do this, and you know, I think any entrepreneur is willing to sit down and help someone else try and do it, but I can't count 5 people that I know that have actually gone and done it.
And this group has allowed me to have a sort of a board of directors. It's helped me to make this. In fact, right now I have an important investment decision to make, and when we meet next week in our forum group meeting, discuss that.
And we write notes during the meeting, and at the end of the meeting, we hand all our notes to the person who is presenting the issue at hand. So if Pinky comes in talking about ABC, we'll all give him advice, comments, only from personal experience, and then we actually hand him the notes. And when we leave that room, we do not talk about it again.
Everyone has ideas and reasons for not doing anything about it.
They've got a family, they've got kids, they've got a mortgage, they've got a car payment. They can't afford to leave their job and start something new.
If you really look at every entrepreneur, at one point they've taken a leap of faith. They've gone from a known to an unknown.
Most people get inspired to action by either inspiration or desperation. And to some certain people, if they get into a desperate situation early enough in life where they feel like their back's to the wall and there's no turning back, and they close their eyes and just walk right through a wall.
What stage are you better off to do it? Is when you're young, when you're living on macaroni and cheese or pot pies. You don't have a lot to lose.
If you haven't made your million yet, the YEO says don't get discouraged.
If we stop creating, we're going to end up being a country of consumers that's consuming other people's creation from other parts of the world.
Everyone that says they're an entrepreneur says they have a plan. Where is it? It's in my head. That's not good enough. You got to put it on paper.